Oh, that nearly didn't start there. The battery was flat the other day at the workshop because I left the boot open. Anyway, welcome to Once Driven Forever Smitten. It's Sunday. We're going to go and take the springs off Kenzo's Cavalier Turbo, which you won't have seen before. It's got Eibachs on it, and the reason that we need them is because one of my Eibachs is snapped on the blue Cavalier, and they're very expensive, and we're not going to get any new ones this side of Christmas. He also doesn't want them on it because his car's sitting too low, so I've got my set of standard springs, same as what's on my GSI, which doesn't sit high at all, so hopefully they'll work out nicely and we'll be able to get his car sitting properly and get a full set of Eibachs back on the Cavalier CD. So it'll be good, just going to do it up in the driveway there. But I'm not quite sure the format of how these videos are going to work because we've got a whole ton of Cavalier CD mechanical work to do, and I don't know if I'm going to make it into one long video or divide it up, so I'll just hedge my bets and explain both things. And later on I was hoping to maybe go and strip a few more bits out that breaker Vectra, which I've shot video for, which I might use for something else at some point. I don't know. But look, I bought a microphone. Hopefully that's working. Okay. Right, well, this is Kenzo's Cavalier Turbo. It was bought in 2018 and it's about to get quite a lot of work done to it. We've just changed the springs over on it. This was quite a well-known car. It was featured in Total Vauxhall magazine. It was powerful at one point, it had a big turbo on it. But the plans for it is to basically wind it back to standard. There's a lot of aftermarket equipment on it that's coming off it to go back to original Vauxhall, and it'll be about sort of stage 2, 230 horsepower maybe, 240. But even at that, a standard Cavalier Turbo is 0 to 60 in 6.4 seconds, top speed 149 mile an hour. It is not a slow car. So this will go well. The standard springs on it, it makes it a bit easier for the roads around here, and also the driving that we'll be doing anyway. You're better off with a bit of ground clearance and a bit of compliancy. So you'll be seeing a lot more of this car in the coming months when we drop the engine out, it change the clutch timing belt, a few other bits and pieces, and it'll be back out on the road 2022 in some style. It's a good solid shell. It's a clean example of a Cavalier Turbo, that's for sure. But aye, right, we'll go and crack on, get a few bits and pieces done to it. Here we go then, Cavalier Turbo. It belongs to Kenzo. He's just jacking the back end up because we're going to change the springs on it, as I've mentioned, to go and put standard ones on this, because the Eibachs on this sit a whole lot lower than they do on my Cavalier CD for some reason. Not sure, so we're going to put the standard ones on it that I've got sitting there, and then use the Eibach spring, well, one of them, on the front of the Cavalier CD, and we'll put the back ones off this on the Astra Mark III. See how that works out. Aye, should be easy enough. Famous last words. Needing something to lie on to get under the car. That's the boot carpet out the GSI, which is an absolute disgrace. But you can tell that it is because it's got like the hump in it for the spare tyre. So you're going to wash it?
Aye, I'll take it up to...
Ideal. I got a jet wash, and then I'm probably going to have to paint it with something to go and make that look nice. That's horrible. Anyway, I'll do the now to lie on. Spring compressors. Let's get this first of these springs out the back. I go for it. See if you can. There we go. Oh, that was easy enough. There you go, just take it out the side. Yay! Okay, side. Let's see the difference in the springs between the two. So we've got, that's your KYB standard spring, and that's your Eibach lowered one. So there's going to be a bit of difference in that. You're probably going, why are they taking lowered springs off a car and put standard ones on? But I'll explain that in a bit. This should make it sit more comfortably. I'm going to guess that they go like that. I don't think. Definitely that's the bottom like. Right, let's go and shove this in. Okay, right. So if I go, and now it might need to come round your side, I think, to go in. Alright, okay, now if you do the same thing again, and just, you'll need to stand on the thing. I don't know if that needs to go. We just have to see. I go for it. Right, let it go. There we go, we're back in. That's that one in. Dead easy on this side. At the back, right, what we'll need to do is get the little jack, I think, or another jack under there, and we'll just jack the bottom part of the arm just to level it up. Oh, well, that would be...
The Eibachs down the road after that map.
well, I've got back shot, I've got KYB, those kind of fancy KYB gas shocks for the Mark III Astra, so we can use the ones of this. That's not going to work. We'll have to get it on the edge of that because I'll not be able to get the bolt through it, so to drop it down a wee bit. There, that's it. Jack it at that and we'll get the line up with the... There's the bolt.
On the socket,
Well, I can just shove the shocky up and it'll go at that. And we can just knock that down a stage and just... Right, that's it. Yep, one side. Head off the tow hook. Well, that's the two wheel going on, although it's not the correct. These are wheels that came off a Mark III Astra with 5 studs, so it's got a 195/45/16. So it's just to sit the car on at the moment.
They're the future ones for the saloon.
Oh, I think it's 5 studdy because it's got 205/55s in the front, and obviously you can't drive a 4-wheel drive Cavalier with different sized tyres on it to that extent. It will not like it. This one's got a locked box, but either way it won't like it. The car's had a little bit of work on the back lower quarter panels, which is a bit normal, but overall for a Cavalier it's pretty solid. We're going to show you the tyre just now as to one of the reasons as to why it's getting standard springs put on it.
Avon tyre destroyed.
The problem you've got is if you lower a Cavalier Turbo or a GSI or a Calibra in an independent suspension too much in the back, it splays the tyres out and you get this wear up the inside. Now you can get camber correction kits for them, but it's not really worth it. I mean, we're not that fussed. The roads that we drive on and the type of driving we'll be doing, it's better off to have a bit of ground clearance and a bit of sort of compliance for the suspension. So standard springs it is, it's the chewing up the inside of the tyres as it sits with those Eibachs on it, which we don't really get because they're the same as what's on my blue Cavalier, but like I say, that's a beam axle, so maybe there's just a different setup. So we'll get this bolt out and we'll put the other back spring in, we'll see where we're sitting. Right, that's the bolt out there, so at the back of the shocky, because it got 4 new Bilstein blacks on it and the Eibach springs in 2019. So this is where we keep the Bilstein blacks because they're good original equipment style shock absorbers. But obviously get rid of these. These should be easy enough. You want me to go and stand on the hub and I'll go and yank the spring. I've got an exhaust on the road on this side. There we go. Easy. So just you need to take it for there.
Newcastle getting that's got a turbo wheel. The boy says to me, I've got the things here looking for. I says, well, share them. The boys are, no, I want to keep them spare. But why the flipping...
I don't know what's the best way to go in here, if I go in for that side or have a look. They're alright. If you come round that side, I'll maybe try and get it in for there, because the exhaust's on my road on this side. And that's a back shocky bolt going in at the bottom there. It's banging away, it should be. Yep, that's definitely going in. Shorted. GTE's sitting there as well, doing not a lot at the moment, but I'll go straight through the MOT, we know that for certain. Astra GT 16 valve and a Cavalier Turbo, eh? Right, the wheels back on. I reckon this is going to sit like a drag start when it comes down. I'll get the stand out. There you come. Okay, right, down it can go. Ah, that's alright. Once that settles down a bit, that'll be spot on. If that's how it sits in it, it'll drop down a fair bit for there. Lovely. Right, now the back springs are easy, but the front ones there's quite a lot more work involved because you've got to take the entire strut out, but done that a million and one times, so. Got the ball joint splitter there, everything else, so should be fine. What?
Plastic covers.
Oh. And there's probably the long nose vice grips over there, I'll take them off. Oh, my head was in the shot. The thing with the front, there's a lot more work involved to get the struts off than to do the springs on the back. You need to split the track rod ends, the ball joints, but that's alright, I've done it plenty of times before. And we'll get the Eibachs off the front of this and get one of them anyway. Might put both of them on the Cavalier CD. If one of them snapped, then the other one might not be that far behind it, unfortunately. Aye. And then we'll get it dropped onto the ground. Can't drive it at the moment, but we could probably fire it up. Okay, remove these 30mm nut in the bottom ball joint. I've got, oh, that's not going to move. Track rod end and the brake caliper as well all needs to come off, and then the top strut mount, and then everything will, the whole thing will come out. Need to try and turn the wheel, it's not wanting to move to get it to come out the way. Well, that's a good start. The bottom and top caliper bolts both came out. Your Eibachs are getting a bit rusty as well. Surprised at that, because I've not really been anywhere or done anything.
They're cheap.
No, they were the most expensive springs you can get. I mean, they are good, but so not. So they should be. They were about twice the price of every other spring.
I can see when we were actually looking there, I think it could do with seeing the colours that do come out firing off, but the anti-old links are not looking very healthy looking.
Oh, I needn't a set of them, that's alright. Okay, and we've got this, which is, now then, how's that connected together then? Is this on a plug, or has it lost its plug? Yes, it is. Good, right, okay, we've got the ABS sensor off, right. That'll be an 18 in there, need an 18 spanner to get the bottom ball joint. And I'll probably be a 19 for the top with a socket and give that a go. Where's that? For that, where's the 19 socket? Ah! Bloody thing. Should not put them against the dent. Okay. Let's see if you're going to come off. Nah, that's covered in paint. There's the hammer.
That's 18.
It's an 18? Right.
The arms are all rusted up to new one, yeah.
Okay, so let's see if this 19 is going to take this off. Yes, straight off, it didn't spin. That's good. And see if it will lever down. Should fit through there alright and get onto the floor. Right. Nah. Okay, I'll give it a bash. Well, you're pushing against it. There we go, that's it. Right, lift it up again. I've not got the nut off yet. It's pushing against it now. Right, there we go, that's the nut off. So you can lever that down and we'll get that out of there, right? Okay, right, that's the bottom ball joint out. Right, let's get the bottom ball joint splitter in here. Well, any ball joint splitter, but these are one of the ones that doesn't wreck things, but they're a bit... They're always a bit concerning to use them because they put some amount of pressure against that joint to go and push it loose, and you're always worried that it's going to ping. Oh, that was easy enough. Didn't need too much. Right, that's the track rod end out, so all we need to do now is take the hub nut out. There's not really a set order in which you need to do these things. Go. Yeah. I'm along and whipping that off the top. Pull them apart. No, it doesn't. I just pull the drive shaft out at the end and we'll get the top bit in a second. Right, that's them separated down there, so it's just a 24 up on the top. If you hit the gun, I'll go and support the strut. There we go. One strut removed. That's the spring compressors on. I'm just going to nip this up a bit. Doesn't need much. There we go. Oh dear, we're going to have to go and grab this with a bit of so that was spinning, so we'll just go and hit the 24 over the end. Get this one there. Just slacking it off this way. So here we've got our KYB, and here's our Eibach. Well, this was sitting very low at the front, so you can see the difference that's going to make. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's about the same amount of coils in it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Ah, it's a wee bit different. Get that clamped up. All clamped up. We've got the top nut on, so we'll just shoot that up a bit. Is it going to go on enough so it won't come off? Is it going to go on? Ah, we've got someone that there's that ratchet. We'll get it wound on a bit more. It'll be fine at that. You can just turn these, tighten these off when they're on the car anyway, because then you've got a bit of tension against them. Oh, fucking hell. Right. That's plenty on that now, so we can just undo these, make sure it all sits in the same position. Standard spring in now. It's all in the right spot and everything. It's sitting in the wee lug at the bottom and it's sitting in the cup at the top okay. Everything's back together, so we can now go and tighten the rest of that nut off at the top so we can get it through. That's a bit of progress, eh? Aye, a couple of weeks we'll get it down the workshop. Once the blue one's out the road, that'll be spot on. Obviously badly needing to take it for a drive. Sitting too high up at the front, but the back started to lower down quite nicely. I think that'll be about bang on once it settles down. I had to go and put a seat in it. Well, I'll go and put that normal tyre back on it, aye. Spot on, great success. Right, so that'll do us for this one. Just a quick introduction on the Cavalier Turbo, putting the springs on it and that. We'll catch up with you next time. Hopefully when we've got the ramp fixed again, we can get down there and do things properly. You need a hand to push this. Right, we're going to push it back to where it was, because there's no driving seat in there now. The interior's all out it. Right, catch you next time. Cheers. Bye.